Hey you guys, it's Britt. Today we're here to talk about Ryan Anderson and him speaking exclusively with the Daily Mail, sharing some more details about him and Gypsy in this current separation, kind of what led them there. But in all fairness, I also want to talk about what Gypsy had been telling her friends, just so that we can see both sides. I know that a lot of y'all are interested in the Gypsy Rose topic, and I said if Ryan comes out and has anything to say, I will cover it. And yeah, we're just going to go over it. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright, you guys, so let's start out with what he was sharing with the Daily Mail. It says Gypsy Rose Blanchard's estranged husband Ryan Anderson reveals he was blindsided by their split and had no clue she still had strong feelings for her ex-boyfriend. Actually, ex-fiance, they're talking about Ken. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's estranged husband has broken cover to tell of his shock and devastation at their separation. Speaking exclusively to DailyMail.com, Ryan Anderson confirmed that he and Mom Blanchard have separated over her continued relationship with ex-fiance Ken Urker. He said, "I'm not doing well with it. For me, it just came out of the blue. I had no idea she still had such strong feelings for him." Feeling bad for Ryan was not on my 2024 bingo card, but it does suck. And like I said in another video recently, going through all of this publicly and going from like somebody who was not in the public eye to now you're going through a really tough, very public separation. And not only that, but your ex-wife is playing in your face. She is literally playing in his face by moving around the way that she has been moving around. It is extremely immature, but maybe that's just to be expected because she is an immature person. Doesn't make it right, but maybe that's a little bit of reasoning why. It continues and says, seen in these exclusive pictures, special needs teacher Anderson, 37, clutched Pixie, the cute little Shih Tzu pup he and Blanchard, 32, adopted together in January. As he told DailyMail.com, he was for sure keeping the dog. So there's a little more information about Pixie. Seems like Ryan is glad, at least as of right now, it seems like he's happy with the decision that the dog is with him. And like I said, I hope they become the best of friends, and maybe Pixie will help him through this devastating time. It continues and says, barely 4 months ago, Anderson posted about his perfect life on Instagram when he introduced Pixie to followers in a picture of her with Blanchard and wrote, "My two favorite girls, my family is adorable, I'm so lucky." And here's a new photo of Ryan and Pixie I will throw in. Pixie obviously looking very cute as expected. It continues with, but the happily ever after he assumed would follow the Munchausen by proxy victim's December release after serving 8 years for the murder of her mother has come to nothing. Instead, just a day ago on Thursday, pictures emerged of Blanchard hand in hand with Urker, who first started writing to her in 2018, having seen the HBO documentary of her childhood, Mommy, Dead and... It says Mommy Dearest. It's actually Mommy, Dead and Dearest is the full name. They broke up not long before she started her prison romance with Anderson in 2020. Apparently, without a care in the world, a beaming Blanchard and Urker were seen visiting a Dollar General store in South Louisiana and casually smoking a cigarette together. They made no effort to hide the matching husky tattoos they got just days earlier. For Anderson, it was a cruel and confusing display of their closeness. He told DailyMail.com, "I haven't spoken to her, so I don't know what's going on. I'm at a loss. I'm really not doing well at all." That does suck. Like I said, I don't really care too much for Ryan, but I don't have to care for him to be able to hold some space for acknowledging that this is a really crap situation to be in. It has been almost 2 weeks since Blanchard blindsided her husband and moved out of their marital home in Lake Charles and back to her father and stepmother's home in Cutoff, Louisiana, some 3 hours drive away. Urker wasted no time in flying in from Texas to be by her side, while Blanchard has insisted there is no intimacy between the pair and that he is simply being a supportive friend. Anderson is clear that the relationship is to blame for the end of their marriage. Neither Blanchard's father, Rod, or her stepmother, Christy, were in favor of her marrying Anderson. For his part, Rod said he gave the marriage 50-50 odds at best. And it also goes over how Ryan wrote to her off of a bet. I've talked about that before. One of his coworkers wanted to write Tiger King Joe Exotic. Anderson said, if you write to him, I'll write to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Blanchard's family have voiced concerns that the relationship started as little more than a dare, but according to one family member who spoke with DailyMail.com, Anderson went into it with the best of intentions. A family member told DailyMail.com, I don't know if either of them has spoken to divorce attorneys, but the split is real, it's done. And I also, like I said, in all fairness, I want to share a little bit about what Gypsy was alleging Ryan was like behind closed doors. It says, meanwhile, according to TMZ, Blanchard had told friends and family that her marriage came to an end because of Anderson's argumentiveness and constant jealousy over the amount of time that she wanted to spend with her father. According to the report, she was keen to rebuild her relationship with her father after so many years behind bars, but instead of supporting her efforts, Anderson attacked them. Announcing the split in a private Facebook post obtained by People, Blanchard simply wrote, people have been asking what's going on in my life. Unfortunately, my husband and I are going through separation, and I moved in with my parents down the bayou. I've talked about that before. Could Ryan have been very jealous and controlling and all of the things? Possibly. Nobody lived with them and heard the things that was happening behind closed doors. However, I tend to, my assumption and my instinct is telling me that they probably had a couple of arguments, because let's be honest, any couple is bound to argue. Even the ones who get along, 90% of the time, you're going to have tiffs. Like, that's what makes a long relationship worth it. Like, you're arguing and making up and you're figuring things out and you're communicating. So I'm sure that there were some of those disagreements that were happening. However, I feel like Gypsy Rose is a very manipulative person because of the way that she was raised and the things that she was taught growing up. And I believe that she used Ryan as a steady plan to work in her favor. And I think that she lost interest once they were actually not writing and on video calls and having once in a while an in-person visit. I think that she realized that, I can do whatever I want to now. And I think that she is comfortable with abandoning people. I think that, her mother raised her to be not the most caring person, and that's my obvious opinion. I don't think that Gypsy is the innocent, meek, fragile woman that people paint her out to be. I think that she's actually much smarter than that, and I think that she came out of prison and said, I can do what I want now. And it didn't matter to her. And she knew that she was still talking to Ken, and, old weirdo Ken would be willing to be there by her side and do all this fun stuff like getting tattoos and smoking cigarettes outside the dollar store. It's very adolescent. I've said that the entire time. She's giving adolescent soap opera vibes. But as things come out, I will continue to cover them. And that's the update from Ryan and his exclusive statement, and a little bit more about Gypsy and what she has been saying. This is very much like a he said, she said kind of thing, obviously. But I think that we know more about Gypsy's personality because of her history being so public. And that's kind of where I'm drawing some of my assumptions and some of my conclusions that are only mine, and I'm just here to share them. I'm not saying anything is for certain, but we're here to talk about it. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.